All right, let's do this. Let's go. Let's make this happen.
In a world where writers, directors, producers, and actors are all fighting to get their films made, comes a podcast that gets into it like no other podcast has ever gotten into it before. So, this summer, hang on to your laptops, because this time, there's no rewrite. Starring Mark Ice Roberts, Rod Tuddy Rinks, and on the ones and twos, Justin Wings Nichols. Let's get into it. Rated R. Under 17. Not permitted without a parent.
Shall we go?
Let's do it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Let's Get Into It.
We've been getting into it lately, too.
I feel like we have been getting into it pretty hard.
Yeah. Guess what I found today?
What?
My release.
Oh, okay, so all your talents signed.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
great.
then I got to do the other one with the crew.
I'm a big fan of everything I've seen on your movie. I think it looks pretty good. We're going to be getting into it with Clay Epstein today. He's a foreign distributor.
I'm excited about this. Clay, I got a lot of questions, my friend.
Thank you.
Well, let's introduce him, ladies and gentlemen, Clay Epstein.
Thank you.
What is the name of your company?
Filmmode Entertainment.
Right, that's a
the name.
mouthful.
It is a mouthful. I thought about that.
Did I tell you? Are there emails when you were starting your company where you emailed me the name and I said that should not be the name
Probably.
of your
I
company?
delete the emails.
Okay, got it.
Wait, I like that
Anything
name,
I don't
Phil.
like. Yeah, you like it?
I like Filmmode. Why not?
See
Why
how
don't
he
you like
focused in on what you said? Like, you,
Well,
you
the
like
challenge. Well, because he's positive over here.
Thank you.
No, the challenge-
Clay, you know this guy very well because you know what? Bam, right off the bat.
We'll get into that in a moment. Everyone should know the full disclosure. But I had
All right.
a list of names for a company, and every amazing name I came up with, some videographer who did weddings in Wisconsin had taken this name.
Yeah.
Right. But
So I kept working down the list, but I kept coming back to Filmmode.
I like it. Filmmode.
It is a bit of a handful, but
well,
but
it's
thank
a
you,
mouthful
man.
because you've
Yeah.
got film and then you got
I
mode.
know. We
coming
say
up after.
FME now. See, we're
that's
so
good.
well known now.
Yeah.
We're so huge. You just say FME.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of like FNG. You know what FNG is?
I don't think I want to.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, Roberts. When the smile comes on the face after before the punchline, you know it's
he starts
something.
laughing before the punchline.
But you know, this Clay, this podcast is all about inspiring people to make movies and to do.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Exactly. We're going to disappoint a lot of people today, but it's
disappointed. I was disappointed.
It's about. We'll see.
Okay.
We really like to give people a lot of information, so it's rare when you get a foreign distributor who sells movies. And you've been doing this for years and years and years. How long have you been a foreign distributor?
Well, I went to film school, which is not always common for.
Where'd you
people
go?
To Cal State Northridge.
Yeah.
I'm local.
Which,
kid.
by the way, is a great college. Paul Buccieri, who's the president
PTA,
of Annie,
Paul Thomas Anderson
went
went
there.
there?
Yeah, there's a lot of great people came out.
Eva
of there.
Mendez.
Did she go
Even
there?
I
Mendez.
went to high school with her and college with
Did
her.
you? She was
Yeah.
from Glendale, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so
You
you're
didn't make
local.
a connection there. That obviously.
We made a connection.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
that was it. Okay.
That's
Enough said.
Yeah.
The last time I saw her was in Cal State Northridge.
So you didn't know her?
Yeah.
Was she an acting major?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's the thing. She
That's the thing,
she
right.
never. I was the drama geek
Right.
in junior high and high school, doing all the plays, making a fool out of myself.
Right.
And she was a successful cheerleader.
Right. So you.
I like that successful
Right.
cheerleader.
But I went to film school and
Yeah.
I wanted to be a filmmaker, and I admire you, Teddy, because I did listen to the podcast last week because I knew you were talking about getting releases for the talent.
Right.
So I did listen to the podcast and was impressed. So
See,
proud
Robert,
to be here.
it's not just my mom.
Yeah, proud to be here. I know it's two of us.
Yeah.
But no, I went to film school
Surprising.
and I wanted to become a filmmaker and tried my hand at directing and writing, and I realized I didn't have the patience, and that was a very difficult reality to accept
Right.
because it took a few years. You know, I graduated, got a job in distribution. You know, just as an assistant.
Yeah.
Started getting an idea of the world of sales, distribution, finance, marketing, and I kept thinking, yeah, but I'm going to be a filmmaker. So this is just the day job.
Did you ever make a movie?
I made a really, really shitty short film.
Uh-huh.
Then I made a really, really shitty feature.
Wow.
And then I made another really, really shitty short film.
So you're due for a good one.
So now I'm due.
You're due. It's
Well,
never
there's
too
nowhere to
late.
go but up.
Positive.
But I did enough of the production to appreciate it, have a good background in creative, and really respect filmmakers. And it, it enables me to have a somewhat of a decent conversation with writers and directors in my current job, because I do a lot of executive producing as well. And with that responsibility comes those conversations with writers and directors and editors, and not just on the business side, but on the creative side as well. And I enjoy that now.
Yeah.
Now I can enjoy to be able to give back, but I don't have the patience to be on set for 4, 5, 6 weeks. I like to go for a day, half a day, a little bit of craft services, say hi, take a few photos, and then tell everyone that I was on set.
Yeah, but Clay, I did my whole movie in 7 days, a feature.
For $10,000, right? 9,600.
That's right.
I listened to the podcast.
That's right. Thank you. You have
$400 left over then for a wrap party.
So it's 10, but at the end of the day, it's probably going to be somewhere around 15 to 18.
I'm probably going to throw out something really boring you didn't budget for.
What's that?
Really boring. Insurance.
Yeah. No, it's in there. It's in there.
$3,000, $4,000. That is something that a lot of first, second time filmmakers, that they forget the budget properly for post.
Yeah.
And for deliverables.
Well, he's been on me
But you did everything, right?
Everything.
Because I could relate to, because all those shitty films that I did.
Yeah.
That was frustrating, because you end up doing almost everything. If not everything, right?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. But how long ago did you make your film?
The last time I did anything myself as director, was probably 2003, maybe.
Okay, so
I'd have to go back. Yeah, let's say early 2000s.
Yeah, so you probably XL1.
I bought an XL1 to make the movie,
Yeah.
right? Then I started renting it out after I made the movie.
Yeah. Well, we shot on a Sony 7, this camera that could shoot at night. It's awesome, and it was on a gimbal. And so we were able to, we weren't repoing a lot, and we were getting, looking at the dailies without color corrected, it looks awesome.
And camera movement. See, we had to rent a dolly. I remember going to rent a truck to go rent the dolly.
Yeah.
You can definitely, there's more movies being made, whether or not anyone's going to see them, but there are way more movies being made, because that I guess, gate of accessibility is wide open. Whereas before, when you had film, you could only make a movie if you could afford the camera, the film, and then had a skilled person working it, loading it, filming it, and then processing the film.
Yeah.
So that filtered out an enormous amount of people, because they physically and financially could not do it. Yeah. And the floodgates are open, because technically and physically anyone could go make a film.
Yeah.
And and I'm happy to talk more about that, but there are just thousands and thousands and thousands of films out there that may or may never ever get seen.
Yeah.
Case in point, Dave, who's in the studio here, he's been recording on his iPhone with an anamorphic lens and at 4K, 24
so that
frames
is better
per second.
By
than
million
most
miles
than the XL1.
than any camera I ever used.
Yeah.
And that's an iPhone. There you go.
Unbelievable. Yeah. I don't regret 1 minute of all my experience trying to become a filmmaker or working in production, because that experience was fantastic and it's made me who I am today. But luckily, the decision came early enough in my career that I had the time
That's the thing.
and the years to build on it and kind of have a trajectory that has enabled me to accomplish what have done today and to continue, still have years ahead of me.
What was the first company you worked for?
So first company I worked for, full disclosure, was actually yours, Mark.
Oh.
And
wow,
do you remember?
Of course I remember.
So
Lorena David, what was the company?
It was. I think we were called King Size Entertainment at the time.
Writer's Block.
Oh wow! Did you work for Writer's Block?
So you hired me as I was just out of high school. I wasn't even 21, because Mark's first job for me was to plan his birthday party at a bar, and I literally couldn't go. I couldn't go to the party.
Nice,
so
Robert.
I had to make the flyer.
Yeah.
And Xerox him off, but I couldn't go to the party because I wasn't 21.
That was my 30th, right?
Must have been your 30th. Yeah.
That was a good party.
Yeah.
Clay worked for me and Lori at Writer's Block.
You had the Avid.
Yeah, this is a good sidebar, because I think people will really appreciate it. When I first got into the business, I had already owned a casting company for 7 years. I had done extras casting and 5-line and under casting for years in movies.
Yeah.
And I sold that company and I became a producer. Then I realized, I don't know that I can survive being a producer. Like, there's no way it's not going to happen, right? So Lorena David, my partner, and I said, there's these new things, these new systems called Avid, and they're nonlinear editing systems. If we buy 2 of them for $257,000
each,
No, I'm sorry, total.
Okay,
for
I was about
both.
to say, damn.
For both, they were each like about 110, 130. So we bought at least 2 of them, and would rent them out for $2,500 a week, so that we can support ourselves while we developed movies. And the first movie we developed was Plump Fiction, which you were in the office when we sold that, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I worked on a TV show you did for the Spanish language television.
Oh yeah, called Acceso.
Yeah, and that was great. That was a great experience. I would drive around town with the director and the crew, and I was the everything, the driver, the grip, everything.
Laura used to get really pissed at you and I because we would sit there and talk about movies for hours in the office.
Yeah.
We'd just sit there and like have like these deep conversations.
No, it was Mark. That was my first job, and I owe a lot to you, Mark. Appreciate it.
Really?
And,
Thank you.
And I decided to still stay in the industry despite working for you. But yeah, but I learned a lot, and I was young, and I was like, I made it in Hollywood. I'm driving around town doing errands for Mark Roberts. I've made it.
We made it look easy though, right?
Yeah.
We made it look easy.
Yeah.
Come
We
on,
had fun,
admit it.
but.
Hey, I came to Roberts too when I first got here.
Really?
Yeah, I wanted to be in movies. He's like, well, what does that mean? I go, I don't know. You tell me. He's like, well, you got to figure out what you want to do in movies. I said, okay.
He was like, I'm here. Clay, I want to give you a compliment. You were really stand up. You were a great assistant. You did everything we asked, and I think we asked you to do way more than just assistant work. You were sort of handling crews and had a lot of responsibility, and you did a really great job. And I liked hanging out with you, to be honest.
We had a great time hanging out.
I thought we became really good friends, and we had a really good time.
Well, considering this is 20 years ago,
right?
I think we're talking about 20 years ago at least. So.
Clay and I go to lunch probably, I don't know, a couple times a year, maybe more, and we always meet at the Beverly Hills Hotel.
I love going to the Polo Lounge when someone else is paying.
Oh, you know what? He's been telling me for years.
This is where I mostly
years.
go. And
one of these days we're gonna go. One of these days it's so nice. I have my meeting.
He's telling you how amazing it is.
He's telling me, and I'm like, when are we gonna go? Oh, one of these days. When's this day gonna come?
Soon.
You see, that's what I get. For
They're
10
like
years.
mini vacations. They're like mini vacations.
But it's beautiful there. Clay and I go there. We talk business and about life. But
it was. I appreciate. I mean, Mark really, gave me the intro to the industry and the business. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But I guess to answer your question that you asked me about 45 minutes ago,
where did you start?
Was my first job out of film school was a company called Kushner Locke. Yeah. They were a big company, a big staple in the independent space.
Who ran that company?
It was Peter Locke and Donald Kushner. And they went public.
That's right.
They went public, and so I went in as a PA, got a job as a PA, answering phones, doing runs. I was a Hollywood runner. I felt so important.
Yeah.
And they'd give us these pagers, and they'd page us our next errand, and dropping off scripts and dropping off cash to Alfonso at Al because he was owed another $10,000 in cash. So I'm, thinking he'd slip me 50, and he doesn't. Basically,
tap on the shoulder.
Right. I had a great time, and I just, I figured, I wanted to be in this business. All I wanted to do was be in the movies, be around the movies. I grew up in L.A., and I just knew from an early age, it's all I wanted to do was somehow be connected with Hollywood and the movies and entertainment.
And you did.
And I just stuck with it then. Yeah. I saw every job and every moment as an opportunity to just kind of keep going, keep building, keep learning.
So let's fast forward a little bit. So you work with me, you work at some other companies. What sparked the interest in foreign distribution?
So at Kushner Locke, after about a year and a half or 2 years, I think I was in the marketing department at this point, and the head of international, who I'm still friends with today, comes to me and he says, "Your boss is going to be fired this week." I said, "Oh, really? Is that true? How do you know?" He's like, "Trust me, your boss is going to be fired. But my assistant just left, and I think you'd be great if you came over to be my assistant." And here I was with this great opportunity in front of me, but of course I'm thinking about it for a week because I still wanted to be the filmmaker. I'm thinking, if I got further away from the creative, it's going to jeopardize my future. But I made the right decision. I accepted that offer and moved over and that was the sales and distribution department. That was the job it was.
Were you required to go to markets?
Yeah. So my first American film market was at that job. Uh-huh. So 1999 or 2000 was my first AFM. So that was my first introduction to the world I'm in today. Right. International sales, domestic sales, foreign distribution, basically all distribution in the independent space, how 99% of films and a lot of television gets distributed around the world.
Right. So let's paint a picture right now for people who are listening and for people who are making movies and want to distribute them. The American film market, or any market, but let's stick with the American film market. You would go there, and as you walk past these suites, you would see full-on displays of movies that had been produced and were available for sale all over the world.
Right. So you go in, it's at the Lowe's Hotel, and they take over the hotel. The beds come out, and companies like myself go in, and they create a temporary office for that week. And it's a trade show, but instead of in a convention center, they're using the hotel as the convention center.
Right.
So we go and rent the room for a week, and we go in there with furniture and movie posters, and we're showing trailers on televisions, and we schedule appointments with independent distributors from all over the world that come to LA, and we have back-to-back meetings throughout the week presenting them our films that are available for them to license for their territory.
Right.
License meaning they can acquire the IP and the distribution rights for their territory. Might be Germany, France. Territory, I mean a country.
Right.
Usually it's a country, a group of countries.
And let's do some real talk here, okay? If you're a filmmaker and you sign with Clay at
Best
Filmmode,
decision you could make.
at Filmmode, and he has your movie, as people are setting up meetings with his company, they go to his suite where they sit down, there's drinks, there's finger foods, there's a television, and there's him and a really nice little place to sit down and do business. He shows you the trailer of your movie to people from all over the world.
Yeah.
And they go, how much? And Clay says this much. And they say, okay, yeah, great. Yes or no. Or they counter, and he negotiates a deal for your movie in one country at a time. So when Clay's done with the American film market, for instance, he may have made a deal with 10 different countries for your film. Now, I don't want to mislead people, and I don't want to say something out of school, but for the most part, if a filmmaker puts their film with you or any foreign distributor, it doesn't necessarily mean that you won't sell domestic, which means here in the United States, but for the most part, you guys handle foreign, not domestic, right?
Filmmode handles the world, including domestic. So we pride ourselves on having great relationships with U.S. distributors and Canadian distributors. Most of the time, you sell a film to a U.S. company that buys North America, but we have split it up between U.S. and Canada. That's not the case with every company, and because of how a finance structure might have been put together, the U.S. rights might not be available when it comes to the sales agent.
Right.
And in that instance, then we would only represent international. But if a film is clean and there's no distribution in place when it comes to us, most of the time we'll even insist on representing domestic because the strategy needs to be cohesive. It didn't always work it wasn't always as important in previous years, but it is so important for it to be cohesive today because of the piracy on the internet, because of how much the foreign distributors rely on the U.S. domestic plan and strategy, and also because of how more and more companies are buying additional territories. So it's not unusual now to sell a few foreign territories to the U.S. distributor.
Right.
Maybe they sell it to Netflix. Maybe they sell it to Amazon. Maybe they have a distribution partner in other countries. Everyone's trying to find added value for their investments because in general, it's tough right now. It's tough for the independents. You know, you see the consolidation, you see the monopolization, you see the companies that the big corporate companies and studios and platforms and internet companies that have their hands in everything, all the way from production all the way to the consumer and beyond, which leaves the independent very little room to move. And you know, we're kind of like, you know, waiting for the rainwater to run off the gutter so we can have a little bit, you know.
Now, yeah, I mean, now the market in 2000 was very different than the market today.
Yeah, completely
right?
different.
There would you say there was a lot more sales of independent film?
Completely
overseas?
different market. The independent market back in the early 2000s and before was phenomenal. And I didn't, because I wasn't in a stage of my career back then that I am now, I really didn't get the benefit from it. But I have, you know, old friends that are mentors of mine and previous generations that did benefit from it. But it was amazing back in the 80s and 90s and the early 2000s because of video. Right. VHS, the piracy was different. There wasn't online piracy. And there were video rental stores all over the world, and there was Blockbuster, and there was this need for content. And so you hear all these stories of sales agents and producers just making a flyer and selling the world for 10 times what the cost of the film was going to be. And that was a model.
Was that true?
Yeah, but it's a model that doesn't exist today for so many reasons we can get into. But it was the video business that sustained that model.
I feel like I was on the tail end of it when I did Plump Fiction, which you were there for. Mark Damon picked it up, took it foreign, and there was an article in Variety or Reporter or something saying like he had sold out the world, and this little movie that was made for $700,000 had made like $3.8 million.
We like our press releases,
right? In foreign sales. I don't think we ever saw any money. I think we had to sue that company, MDP, to make anything. But it's highly disappointing to me that you want to make movies, you want to sell your movies. Sometimes it doesn't matter how big your movie is. You feel like you're doing something special and something great.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always work out that way. Foreign distribution is a big part of making your investors dough. Yeah. It's a big part of you getting a return on your money if you're investing in film. There are genres that don't travel. And this is really important for independent filmmakers to understand. There are genres that just are difficult to sell to the world. And what are those, Clay?
Well, when you think about the type of story and the type of film that's going to travel, that's going to speak to an audience, regardless of their culture, their language, and their society, possibly, that's why horror films, action, thriller, and star-driven films work everywhere in the world, because they don't have to come with any cultural boundary, right? They're not restricted by cultural boundary. If a car is chasing someone, everyone understands that. So the dramas, the comedies are tougher to get distributed internationally. And even if you look at comedies that the studios make or studio-like comedies, they all have A-level cast. So it's very rare that you see a comedy that gets out there and distributed with cast that's not really well known, because even at a big level, at a higher level budget, you still need that huge cast to get the comedy through. And of course, comedy is all cultural. And the other thing to think about, those genres, the comedy and drama, every country in the world almost now has their own production. All those reasons we talked about, the barrier to production that doesn't exist today has also enabled, industry to flourish all over the world. So countries have great local comedies all over the world that have their own stars in their own language. The budgets are cheaper. The production company / distributor owns the world, not just a slice of the world. They now own the world in perpetuity, and they know exactly what is going to speak to their audience. And so when we're selling an English language drama or comedy, it's very difficult. We're now competing with their own local versions.
Right.
So if the typical type of film that the distributors are looking for from the independent space is very, very commercial, mainstream commercial films that look and feel and smell like a studio film from the 90s, right? That's probably the most preferred film and the easiest to get sold internationally. And second would be just amazingly well-made films. And that's a huge difference from that heyday of the 80s and 90s, where execution wasn't as important. And it was this false sense of security of how strong the market in the film world was. Look at all these movies are being sold and distributed everywhere in the world.
Well, it was like recently, the only thing I can think about recently that reminded me of the 90s was Sharknado. You could have like all of these types of movies that were like Tarantulas or Sharknado. Like there was probably 10, 20, 30 of those types of films that were doing extremely well in the 90s market.
Sci-Fi Channel licensing it really financed those films, and then the sales agent that was producing and representing the rights was then able to retain international and sell the other rights.
And the guy who was making all those is still doing extremely well. It's Avi Lerner, right?
Well, Avi Lerner didn't do Sharknado, but
No.
Avi Lerner...
Wait a minute, he didn't?
No.
Who did Sharknado?
So Sharknado was done by the Asylum.
Yeah.
They do all the Sharknado films.
Right, and they did extremely well with that, and it became sort of like a cult thing.
Yeah.
And people just loved hating it.
Yeah, it was
right?
TV. It was TV here in the U.S., and they would sell those films everywhere internationally.
Did they do well?
Yeah, I mean, yes, they did. I don't know the numbers, but they weren't theatrical movies,
No.
right? They were still TV numbers.
Yeah, so they maybe got made for $1 million and it made a couple $1 million.
Right, something like that, yeah.
I think Courtney was in one.
Courtney Lopez?
Yeah, she played like a reporter.
I didn't know that.
And Lopez was asked to be in one, but he
said
couldn't.
no.
It
was below him.
Well, I don't know. I think he was. I think he was doing something else. He couldn't do it. But I remember he said, "Should I do this?" I said, "Yeah."
They really squeezed those budgets on those films. But today, execution more than ever is the most important thing.
So, doing a movie that's executed well still won't get any traction overseas unless it gets some traction in the U.S., right? I mean, if no one's in it, or you have some names in it, and it gets some heat here at some festivals, and people are writing about it and win some awards, then you've got something to sell overseas. But if you just show up with a well-made movie with decent actors in it overseas, and you're like, this is great, do they recognize that as financially important?
If the distributors are being offered every film that's out there, and there are enormous amount of films, if you go to AFM or a trade show like AFM, you will just be overwhelmed by the sheer amount of films for sale.
Right.
And the distributors don't need all of those films for various reasons. There just isn't the need for so much anymore. Then they are going to cherry pick the best of the best of the best.
But who watches them? How do you figure out what's good? Do they have to take your word for it?
Yeah, they take my word for it. Everything I say is correct. I mean, when we look at acquisitions, what to acquire, and also what to get involved in, because a lot of the films we're involved in aren't made yet. Right. As an executive producer, and then as part of the team to help get a film financed and made, and have that discussion with the writer about, is there ways to make the script more attractive to the international foreign place? Is there a way to make the edit more attractive? So I go through this a lot. I spend a lot of time now in my career, now that I have a team and a company and I don't have to do everything. Like how you did everything on set, I had to do everything for the company the first year, right?
Yeah.
And in my career, I've had to do everything. So I have a lot of respect for every position there is. But most of my time now is spent on the phone or in meetings with producers I'm either working with or I might be working with.
Right. And
those conversations are everything about the edit, the script, a sales strategy. Do you do the festival circuit? Which festivals do you go after? What is the trailer or promo going to look like? What's the poster going to look like? And most of the time, there isn't 100% cohesive sensibility amongst the team. But my perspective is always coming from, do you want the best chance at getting distribution in the most amount of countries?
That's still
and
pretty
if the
creative.
answer is yes, then I try and convince them to listen to me. But it's always a conversation, and it's always you always have to kind of come to a balance and a compromise. But we actually, the last year, we actually updated a clause in our contracts with filmmakers because we know how important three elements are to the film's success: title, trailer, and poster.
Right.
Damn.
And if we don't have control over that, then we will reserve the right to change our estimates on what the value of the film is. That's how strongly we believe how important those three elements are. And if a filmmaker is having a hard time changing a title or agreeing to our promo and poster, then we reserve the right to say, okay, we told you an idea of the value 6 months ago, but if now you're not going to let us use the marketing we want, we may change that value.
Right. So you may make half of
lower.
Lower what you were trying to make.
Right. But that's all. Like as a filmmaker, if you tell me that, look, we could do this for your movie, but you got to do this, I would be like, let's do it. Filmmaking at an independent level is very much a collaborative effort. I'm cool with that. There's no ego here. That's
pretty good.
Yeah.
So hang on. So I need to get to like a few things here before we get off track. So if I'm a young filmmaker and I'm making a movie for whatever amount I'm making it. Would you be open to a phone call or an email about what I'm doing, and would you respond?
I get emails and I get those phone calls and the Facebook messages as well. I try to respond to as many as I can.
Mm-hmm. So what if Tuddy contacts you and says, I just did a movie with Lilo and
Made in Mexico. Made in Mexico. I told you I was listening to the last podcast.
But if you weren't listening to the podcast and he sends you an email and you don't know anything about him and he says Mario Lopez exec producing, would you consider?
Yes, and I tell you the best way to get us to look at something, even if we don't know you, and even if we don't get back to you, we will look at it, is a promo of what you're working on.
Okay, good. Okay.
That's the best way, because it's much easier to ask someone to watch 90 seconds than it is to read a script and take 2 hours to read a script, or even a treatment.
Yeah.
And especially if it's a first-time or second-time filmmaker, or a filmmaker we're not experienced with, familiar with, the best way is to show us 90 seconds, because right there you see production value, what they're capable of, what
so that's number one.
Is, what the title is.
So that's number one. Number one, if you're a filmmaker and you've done your movie, whatever it costs.
Get a professionally cut promo.
Get a professionally cut promo.
If you just bought the app on your phone and you've never used it before, but it says you can edit, chances are it's not going to look slick and professional.
Okay, so save a little bit of money.
Spend all that time and effort to go make a movie.
Spend a little bit more.
Get a photographer, get an editor.
Okay,
those are the two bits of advice.
Get a photographer, get an editor, and you will watch the promo and then say, maybe, maybe not. Okay, so good. That's one. If you're an independent filmmaker and you've not been distributed and you're sort of a new filmmaker, don't contact anyone at the point
I would
of the
reach
script.
out. I would reach out. There are websites and there are consultants that will, you pay them a fee and they'll read the script and give you professional coverage and feedback. We're not going to do that because
you don't have time.
We don't have the time.
Pitch decks, log line, short synopsis.
So I taught a class at UCLA Extension just recently.
Okay.
And the final assignment was a pitch deck.
Okay.
And
I got tons of pitch decks.
We talked a lot about that, and I got some amazing ones submitted, some really impressive ones.
Okay.
And I would say to the students, know who your audience is that's going to look at it.
Okay.
So if it's a pitch deck for someone like myself, 10 pages max, keep it simple. We just need the bullet points and some imagery, who's who.
Yep.
If it's to an investor, a potential investor, you have to have more of the budget. You have to have the breakdown of the investor share, et cetera. Those decks might be longer. But yes, pitch deck is great.
Yeah.
Those are very commonplace.
Okay, good.
Good. Awesome. Hang on. This is important. Let's say you're a filmmaker and you've actually gotten someone to invest $500 to $1 million. It happens. Sometimes you get lucky, you meet the right people, you got $1 million, you've got your script. Now, I'm pretty sure if I call you and say, I've got money and I've got the script and I'd like to work with you so that I don't lose all this money, who would be good cast for me to put in this so that I can have value overseas? Would that be a conversation you'd be willing to have?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. And we have that conversation all the time.
There you go.
And our evaluation, our analysis of the value goes up and down depending on who the cast might be.
So would you so if I had $1 million and I was saying, hey, Clay, please help me do this, would you help me by making a list of cast?
Yeah, if it's a project that we are interested in and it's a producer we have a good feeling about or someone we've worked with before, then absolutely, that's part of the EP work that we do and part of the partnership.
Would you, if I've got $1 million and I'm not a producer of note, would you team me up with somebody that would help us make this?
If I felt the project warranted it, yes, because you're going to need someone to, even if it's just to make the offers to the cast.
Yeah.
The one thing that some first or second time filmmakers might not realize about cast is that talent is only doing a film or a TV show for several reasons. It's either a payday, it's a director they want to work with, it's to stretch their acting chops, or it's to win an award.
Yeah.
And it's usually one of those reasons. If you don't have an answer to one of those reasons and you're an unknown and you're calling up the agent to make an offer, the chances of your offer even getting past the assistant's desk is very, very slim.
Right.
Because you have to think that actor is getting offers from an enormous amount of places. That agent has to filter through which ones to present to their client. They're going to be chasing the high paydays from Netflix or Amazon, and then looking at the feature films that are a director they want to work with, ones that stretch their acting chops or having a chance at winning an award, or it's a payday.
Yeah.
And most of the opportunities probably get to an assistant's desk. Then the assistant has to filter down what they may send to their boss, and then the agent has to filter down to what they want to present to their client. So the personal connection to talent is so important, even more so today when the talent are in such high demand. Everyone in the independent space right now is complaining how difficult it is to get talent because of Netflix and Amazon.
There's so much work.
Really hard to, right, because there's so much work and it's highly paid.
Yeah.
So personal connection to the talent is so important to get to them.
Yeah.
So there it is. So if you're a filmmaker and you have a script and it's commercially viable and you come to Clay or any foreign distributor and they say, you know what, we sort of like this, we think it could work, here's some adjustments I would make, and if you are willing, here's the cast that would help this really sell overseas. You could literally go into $1 million movie with a very good game plan, with a potential, if you go to upstate New York or you go to New Mexico or you go somewhere with incentives, you can get up to 35, 40% of that. Let's say 600,000 of it. You get 40% of that back, 30% of that back. You can give that back to your investor. And if you work with Clay or someone like Clay, or another foreign distributor, they could potentially pre-sell it if you get the right name, or just finish it up and then you take it out to the market.
Right. Pre-selling meaning we go sell the distribution rights before the film's made. The contract we sign with that distributor has a value, whatever that number is, and they take that piece of paper to a bank or an independent lender, and that independent lender or bank cash flows it. So then they have the cash to go make the film.
Which means that you could be, your investor could only be, I'm just going to use a small number just to be practical. Of $1 million, you could have protected 50% of that by working this way.
Yeah.
So it's not impossible. It's not very sexy. I'm going to tell you, I've never done it before, and I've made 18 films. I've never done it this way before because that's sexy to me. I don't like the hard work.
But you have the capability and a talent. Mark has a talent to raise equity, which other producers we work with have an ability to raise some equity, but they're very good at working the finance structure with soft money and subsidies. Those are the tax credits and subsidies in other countries. So a lot of the independent films today are not shot in America. They're shot in Canada, UK, other parts of Europe. Bulgaria has no subsidy, but it's cheap. Yeah. It's cheaper, so that's why they shoot them there. But all parts of Europe have subsidies. Canada, Australia is very heavily subsidized. Yeah. So that whole finance structure, there's producers that have that down.
They're brilliant.
Down perfect.
Yeah.
I'm very
they tap
jealous.
into that.
Yeah.
But it also, the more you think about it, and when you see the finance plans, the budget of the film is higher than the value of the film.
Right.
And that's just a funny, strange reality of film financing today. Yeah. But Mark, you have an ability to raise equity, which is riskier in some ways, but simpler.
It's very risky. It's a lot simpler.
But it's
much more exciting. It's like trapeze without a net.
Because we have to deal with lenders. Most of our films have a lender or a bank.
Yeah.
So you have to report to whoever gave the loan.
Then you got to pay for a
loan
bond.
Fees and a bond. Film has to be bonded, and it can get complicated. You spend a lot of time on the phone having conversations with the banks and lenders about the film and the results of the film, et cetera, which is fine. That's part of my job. But when it's equity only, the producer kind of deals with the equity players, and everyone else kind of does their job.
Well, let's get back to how people out there can do their thing. If you have $1 million, my suggestion is that you team up with a foreign distributor, get some advice about cast, and that way your investor thinks you're really smart. Hey, man, you're going to give me $1 million, but I'm going to double check with a foreign distributor.
Go to AFM. The smartest thing you could do is go to AFM.
How much is it to go to AFM?
$500. I almost went last year, but I didn't have the money.
What do you do? Tell them what you do. What do you do?
So they have day passes and they have, I guess, weekend passes and weekend passes.
Yeah.
But it's an investment. Yeah. I mean, has to be. You have to factor the cost in of attending these events as part of your job. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to be a professional and going to be making films, you have to go to AFM, you have to go to TIFF, and you have to go to Cannes.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to go to one, it has to be AFM or Cannes.
Right.
And if you're not attending these events, how do you expect to meet all the right people?
Right.
How do you expect to network and kind of get yourself into the industry and be taken seriously as as a filmmaker if
Yeah.
you're not at these events.
See, I had a film. Well, I didn't go for the reason. I had a script that I wrote. I had some attachments. I had a potential investor, and I had the script, but I didn't have, like, I feel now like I have a product, right? Like I actually have something that it's not me talking to people, pitching them a script. Oh, you got it. Okay, cool. That's a great idea. Yeah, you got the script. Okay, now I have a product that I could show them. Like you said, I'm going to put together a trailer. I have the poster already. How I want it done. The artwork's going to be getting made pretty soon. I got, I'm moving on this, so now I feel like I could talk with people about something.
Right,
as
you have
opposed to
something
just,
that's tangible.
Yeah, something tangible, instead of just say, hey, I got this idea. I got a script.
Get the promo professionally.
Oh yeah. It's going to be.
No, he's got professionals.
Slick.
People
Good.
who work here at Extra can do it.
Yeah. But no, the title. I went back and forth on the title for it took first it was El Chingon Lives, then it went to Once Upon a Time in Tijuana, and then it ended up Made in Mexico, because the whole story is being made in Mexico. The guy gets made in Mexico. The cartel guy is Mexican. Everything comes to life in Mexico, and when he comes home, he's a different man. So
It's a great idea.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you would
it's a
love it
fun
because it's about a suburban dad who writes the modern day
It's a
Rocky.
good pitch. You've gotten really good at
And,
pitching that. Good for you.
Thank you.
When's the film finished, or it is finished?
I have one pickup day,
and then you're going to
it.
submit it to festivals?
It's a very unique platform and opportunity that Tuddy has with one of his executive producers. I'm very curious to see how it works out.
So you still have to work out all the other
Yeah.
outlets.
Yes.
Hence, why we're not going to let you leave until you make a deal with Tuddy. I think it's
really
a breakout performance by Lilo. I really do.
No, he took it to a whole different level.
Do you know who Lilo is?
No.
Okay, tell him his credits.
Bronx Tale? Did you see a Bronx Tale?
Yes.
The kid,
Sure, yeah.
the main guy. Yeah, so
He was
that
also in The
He's grown up.
Sopranos.
He's grown up.
He was opposite Gene Hackman in Crimson Tide. He was in Renaissance Man.
Sure.
He was in.
Show him a
Sopranos.
clip right now while we're doing this. Show him a clip. I want to see the reaction right now, right here.
Okay, well, I don't get any.
It doesn't matter.
Here. Hold
Don't
on. Okay,
be
I'm
ready.
getting it.
Let's
Hold
do
on.
this.
Give
Here
Putting
we
me
go.
on
We're going to
the
do this
spot.
right. You're on the spot right now. Here at Let's Get Into It.
Let's get into it. We're going to get into
That's
it
it or
right now.
not?
Yeah.
Acquisition meeting.
We get into it right here. This is what this is all about.
I gotta tap on the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, go
Hold
ahead.
on.
Hey, on the Wi-Fi.
On the Wi-Fi.
Eat the data. It's worth it.
All right. Let me find it.
This is big, dude. This is big.
I've waited my whole life for this moment. I can't mess it up.
I'm watching right now.
All right. So Clay just watched a clip
All the dailies.
of Lilo,
4 hours of dailies.
and now we're back. So what'd you think? What's your opinion?
Production
of
value was solid and certainly better than I thought it would be for the budget of your film.
Boom.
Boom.
And
What about the
I
acting?
want to see more.
What about
I mean,
Lilo?
I saw fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw one clip.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just two people talking, and it was focused on one.
But Lilo was
character.
bringing it.
Yeah.
I felt like
Oh,
he was
yeah.
bringing it.
Real.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Yeah. No, it looked. No one will know. And I wouldn't tell people the budget from here on
too
out.
late, bro.
But there's no. I know it's great for the podcast, but after that, like
Yeah.
once you get the film finished, you
Yeah.
don't want to tell people the budget.
Yeah.
It's not going to help you at that point. For what you've spent, probably a lot of people are working for free, and you're still going to have to figure out the cost of post,
Yeah.
insurance, sound mixing, all the posts. Sound
Clay, when he finishes the film and it's great, and you see it and you're like, this is pretty good, can you sell it overseas and we cover the making back of this $15,000 movie? This could be really cool. Would you be willing to do that if you like it? I'm not committing you to
If I
anything.
like it, of course.
Yeah, because it'd be good to, on the podcast, bring him in every quarter after the sales festival and see, how did this little movie do?
I'll have to do the producer report on the podcast.
Yeah, we'll do the producer report right here verbally.
It'll be all good news.
That
Portugal,
sounds-
250,000. Bam.
You're making this so enticing.
Come on, tell us what you will do. Let's do this.
I see where this is going. And one part of me says, absolutely, let's sign the deal right now.
Yes.
Come on, Clay.
And I'll come on every week and we can talk
There we
about it.
go.
We can
I love
argue,
it,
we can
Clay.
argue over the poster.
Take it easy.
And then there's the other side of me that says, a lot of films don't sell. Just because you make a movie doesn't mean
Right.
you'll sell a movie, or doesn't mean a distributor has a place for the film or any way to release the film. But what I will promise to do
Let's do this.
is to put together a strategy, because the U.S. is one of the few territories you actually can distribute a film on your own. You may not make any money doing it,
Yeah.
but you can do it.
Have you heard of something called Distributor?
Yes, and Distributor. They actually do. There's a few companies that do what they do.
Yeah.
But I believe they're a middle man.
Okay.
And I would just introduce you to the actual company that does
right.
it. What you need to work on and find a strategy for is, even if your film is on iTunes and Amazon and Google Play, Sony PlayStation.
How are you going to market it?
No one knows it's there.
Yeah.
Even if you log in to the platform, it may not, chances are it won't be on the homepage.
Right.
So how do you get it? How do you get an audience awareness, and how do you get an audience to go and direct them to go watch?
Yeah.
You got to get a great promo made. And you can do that before the film is done. You don't have to wait for the film to be edited.
Right.
Go hire a trailer editor to watch the dailies.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to continue to keep that train moving, right?
Yeah.
Will you meet with Tuddy about the promo and just what would be effective about it? There you go.
Sure.
Man, we got a lot of it.
Yeah, but you got to get a promo made, because then, you know why? Because when you want to show someone something, no one wants to see a shot of a daily. I mean, I will, of course, and and it was my pleasure.
Well, you were forced.
People want to see a 90-second promo.
Yeah.
Right? Right. You don't have to wait for the film to be finished to get a promo made.
Hang on. We'll get back.
All right.
We're going to come back to this. This was great. We've got a lot of great commitments and a lot of great things to come back to and to look at, and it's very exciting.
Let's talk about my movies.
Yeah.
That's a great idea, Mark.
What are
Thank
you most proud of? What is?
So we have a film coming out. It's being finished right now that I am incredibly proud of.
And you exec produced it as well.
I exec produced it. We sold it. We crushed it. I can't announce who yet, but we have a studio on board for international and a great distributor, really, really prominent distributor domestically. And it's Brittany Snow, Sam Richardson, Jordana Brewster, Vivica Fox.
She was just here.
Really?
Extra. Yeah,
she's great. She's great. And the film is currently titled Bailey and Darla. We may change the title, but it's great. And it's about Brittany Snow plays this hilarious, smart, young, sassy woman who's a sex addict. And she befriends Sam Richardson, who has testicular cancer. It's kind of down on his luck. And she takes him on a road trip across America, screwing in all these places she's had sex, so she can write a great story for a magazine she works for. Mm. So it's funny. It's comedy, but it has heart, has a little bit of drama, but at its core, it's just a great comedy. And they're great. They are hilarious.
That's a great cast, by the way.
Yeah. Great cast. Great new director. But that film came about in a way that you can't replicate. You know, Brittany had the script, knew the director, wanted to do it. I worked with the producers that put the financing together. I pre-sold part of the film to try to finish. And
was it easy to pre-sell?
I pre-sold domestic.
Yeah. Oh, okay, got it.
I pre-sold domestic to help finance the film.
And you can't say what studio it is, domestic?
Not yet.
No, not yet. And
that's our new. That's in post. We have another film in post called Stage Mother. And I also exec produced this one, Jackie Weaver, Lucy Liu, and Adrian Grenier. And incredibly excited about it. It's a comedy, again, comedy with heart. And it's about a very conservative Texas choir singing woman, Jackie Weaver, who gets a phone call, after church choir practice that her son has unfortunately passed away. And her son was a drag queen in San Francisco who they had disowned. So she has to defy her husband's wishes, get on a plane to San Francisco to take care of the affairs, discover she's inherited the drag club.
Oh, wow.
It's fantastic.
Dude, that's amazing. Hey, by the way, you should take notes. That's some good pitching, right?
That was amazing pitching.
This is a guy who's got some experience.
Yeah.
So when I go to Film Market, picture this.
That's what you do.
So they're about 10 days. And our days run from about 9 a.m. to 6:30, and our booth or office, wherever we are. And we're pretty much pitching from about 9 a.m. to 6. Then every time you have to run to the bathroom, you usually run into someone along the way. So then you try and slip in a pitch on the way. You get sick of your own voice after a while.
Did you ever pitch anyone or get pitched at a urinal?
Sure. I just pitched. It's so funny. I was trying to find the head programmer, the head of Toronto Film Festival. And he's a great guy. And I'd emailed him before Cannes and said, hey, let's just connect, have a coffee. I want to tell you about Stage Mother because it's a Canadian film. Mm. And the filmmaker's been in Toronto Film Festival before. So I wanted to make sure it was on their radar. And I he didn't respond. It was right before Cannes. And I saw him in the bathroom of a really nice hotel in Cannes where a lot's going on. And I saw him in the restroom. He has his tuxedo on. and he's washing his hands, and I said, hey, try to I think I'm not sure if you got my email, but we got Tom's new film, and I did the Stage Mother pitch in like 15 seconds and made sure he like absorbed it before he left, and
he did,
and it was great. Yeah, then he responded to the email after Cannes,
right?
And we connected. Because submitting to a film festival that Toronto, Berlin, Cannes, Sundance, Tribeca, you can't get big. I mean, Venice. I mean, these festivals could change your life.
Palm Springs.
They don't always. Palm Springs won't change your life.
Come on.
Because I'm sorry, but all the big films they have in Palm Springs were usually in the other big ones.
Right.
But
minus mine.
Minus yours. Great festival, but I mean, the festivals where film can break out.
Yeah.
Toronto,
Sundance.
Berlin, Cannes, Sundance, Tribeca.
Yeah.
Toronto is really important.
They show a lot of films in Toronto.
There's a lot. So if your film's in the festival, it doesn't mean anything.
Right.
But if your film's not in the festival,
then it means less.
It means less. Yeah. But if your film's in the festival,
Right.
there is a chance.
Right.
And especially because of where the film was made, and it is Canadian, and it's very timely, and the themes are so timely, and it's presented in a humorous way with heart. It's so perfect for the festival. And to just blindly submit a film to a festival that large, you're going to get lost. You don't know who's going to see it.
You have to find someone.
So I wanted to make sure that he just had it on his radar.
I think that's awesome that you did that.
Yes,
Yeah,
I pitched it to him in the men's bathroom of the Majestic Hotel
awesome.
in
That's
Cannes.
a great story.
My advice when I was teaching the class at UCLA, at the beginning of every class, we talked about everyone's networking accomplishments that last week. And I tried to focus on the fact that nothing was more important in their career than networking. And it's not easy for everyone, especially depending on your age and what opportunities you have. Do you have the money to go join the Soho House? Not everyone does, right? But is that one of the best places to go network and schmooze with? Yeah, it probably is. Not everyone has the money to get themselves to Cannes and to Toronto, but there are other ways to network that don't necessarily cost an enormous amount of money. If you're not in LA or New York, it's going to be tougher.
Yeah.
But you have to ask yourself how much you want this. And if you want it a lot, and this is the profession that you want, you have to invest in it both in time and money.
Yeah.
And take some risks.
Does that mean moving to Los Angeles? Yes. And joining organizations, Film Independent and the International Documentary Association. And there's, not every event costs a lot of money. Because of this class, the students started looking up other opportunities that were more cost effective. And Netflix was hosting screenings of their shows and movies that a lot of times were free. And you could go to the Netflix screening. AFI does events.
Yeah.
But networking and just getting yourself into the industry. If you're in LA, there's so many events and organizations you can join to get yourself kind of into the community. Film Independent, I think, is less than $100 a year, and the amount of screenings and Q&As and networking events is incredible.
Yeah.
Dude, this was an amazing amount. I think you're going to have to
Was this your best podcast?
In terms of information for filmmakers, this was really a deep conversation about what you should be doing to help convince your investor and also make a good movie so that you can get the money back and maybe do it again. And also in the process, meet a bunch of important people and get your film to the right places.
Yeah, or even if you don't make it, to write the script, do a good pitch deck, have your pitch down, and then go to like an AFM. And
Absolutely. And if nothing else, you're going to see how the industry works.
Yeah.
And you're going to see what the posters look like and how people in industry executives
Don't
interact.
be afraid to call Clay.
Don't
Call
be afraid
Clay.
to call me.
Call Clay.
We are on Facebook. We do have
you
a
are?
Facebook.
Okay.
I would invite everyone to join the Facebook.
The Facebook
page.
He said the Facebook.
The Facebook.
Facebook.
Although it was
Instagram?
the Facebook originally, right?
Facebook.
When
It was
he
the
first started it.
You don't have the Instagram?
I have the Instagram with about 3 people following it.
Hey, I want to end with, I'm doing a
Back to
movie
you.
with Mario Lopez called Feliz Navidad.
I'm in.
You know what? That's
all
pretty
about
much
a
how my
title.
life goes all the time. I'm sad that we haven't worked together. I am.
Every time that you pay for lunch at the Polo Lounge,
Yeah.
I leave thinking how much I want to work with you.
Is there a place for a Christmas movie with a little flavor
there is
overseas?
actually, not only is there a place for Christmas movies, but there's an actual specific need for Christmas movies in international territory.
Really?
So I would love to be involved in that.
All right, well, I'm going to get back to you. We're making a deal domestically, which I'm going to leave you out of. And then
Can I still get a fee on it?
No, you can't. You can't collect
Wait a minute.
on it.
How did you just hear any about the podcast, domestic and foreign, are the same?
Can't do it.
They have to be cohesiveness. You're not being cohesive here, Robert.
I know. I'm going to keep domestic, but I'll come back to you about foreign.
Right? And this is what I'm dealing with.
But look, you're a great guy. I'm very proud of you. You've done amazing stuff. You have a beautiful family.
Thank you.
And it's always fun to hang out with you and to talk about movies with you and to talk about how we can make movies together. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Thanks a lot, Robert.
That was a ton of fun, guys.
That must have been an hour and a half. Was that an hour?
Hour 20.